How's it going, everybody? Vegeta saying, what is good to all my Super Saiyan homies? Here to bring you all sorts of Dragon Ball content. If you enjoy the video, make sure you hit that thumbs up and subscribe so you don't miss out on any future content. That being said, today, what we're going to be looking at is we're going to be looking at an equipment guide for Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta. These have actually been doing pretty well. I'm happy with how they've been doing. They've actually been doing better than showcases, so I would like to, keep doing these pretty consistently. And thanks to the V-Jump leaks, I can actually put this out, with pretty ample time for people to prepare. So yeah, we're just going to look at the best equips for him, at least as of right now where he stands. We don't necessarily know what his kit is going to look like after the fact, but we have a pretty good idea. He was always really, really squishy, so I'm going to try and focus a little bit on defenses if I can, but we're also going to really be looking at like special move damage and all that stuff, because his special move and his ult are phenomenal, and his ult even has a chance of fate. So without further ado, let's hop right into it. So the first one I want to look at is the Hurry Vegeta. It's got double defense, like we said, and it does have a pure buff of 5% per Saiyan tag, which works out pretty well, if you're running him on Vegeta Family or if you're running him on GT. Because for the most part, they're pretty Saiyan heavy, unless you're running like Omega or Trunks or something like that. I would say it's a little less potent on Vegeta Family, because, you do have room for, say... Actually, I wouldn't even say that's true, because you really just have the Green Kid Trunks, and I guess the Zenkai Trunks if you're not running Majin Vegeta. So yeah, I mean... It is a very solid equip, regardless, because, yeah, it may be for Saiyans, but even if it's just a pure buff, just because of himself, it's still pretty solid. Next up, we've got your Sure to Win. This is one of the best equips in the game. This is for, I believe, Saiyan range type. Oh, no, it's just Saiyans. I thought it was Saiyan range type, but it's just Saiyans. And then it offers Blast Defense, Blast Attack, and Special Move, all of which at a very solid number. 15% is a very respectable defense number. 18% for Blast Attack, and then 13% for Special Move. It's very, very solid. I don't believe this equipment is like super readily available or anything like that, so it may not be one you're able to farm up. That's why I mentioned it early, because I didn't want this to be like, like the end-all be-all. You should be using this equip. I mean, you probably should, but I don't think, I think it's one of those ones that if you missed it, I'm not necessarily sure you can kind of just like get access to it now. Okay, so this is the one I was thinking of that is for GT range types. Or, actually, sorry, I mixed that up, because I said Saiyan range type last time. But this is a GT range equip. This is kind of one of the ones I was thinking of. It's got Blast Defense, and then it could be Strike Defense or Special Move, both of which are solid stats that we're looking for. We're either looking for some defense or we're looking for Special Move. But it's okay if he misses out on Strike Defense, because his unique does give him... Or actually, no, I don't think it's his unique. I actually think it's every time he uses a Blast arts, he gains strike damage cut. He doesn't gain all damage cut, just strike damage cut. I wonder if they'll change that to a straight damage cut, in which case, this is still a solid equip, but, we can maybe focus a little less on defenses. But yeah, very solid equip, again, for GT range types. Yeah. Next, we've got, at long last, I've Ascended Cataract. This applies to all GT units. It's got Blast Defense, Strike Defense, and it's got Pure Blast Attack, as long as you're with a Super Saiyan 4, which he is, so it works out really well. And that's a solid one for 10%. You can also roll it as Strike Defense, but, I think the roll that everybody should be shooting for on this is Blast Attack, because I think, even as squishy as he is, triple defenses on this guy, I don't think it's a great choice, because as soon as he gets a Zenkai, he'll definitely be able to take at least a couple more hits, Next up, we've got This Should Be Good, the Pycon equip, and this thing actually could really cook up some numbers for Vegeta if you're solid with it, because you can get Blast Attack on the first roll or Strike Attack, but for this guy we want to focus on Blast Attack, Strike Defense, and then a pure buff of Blast Attack as long as you have a green or purple member with you. Now this may be a bit of a tall task in terms of the purple, considering how old the original Super Saiyan, or rather the fact that the Goku Super Saiyan 4, the original one, isn't going to be getting a Zenkai alongside this guy, but if you are going to be running GT for the most part, most people are going to be running Super 17 or the full power Super Saiyan 4 Goku, so you do have access to two really strong greens, so in that regard I do think this is a strong equip. So I'll basically mention this equip anytime I can, anytime you have a ranged unit, because this is not restricted to anything other than just ranged unit. This should be on every ranged unit you ever run. All around phenomenal equip. Key recovery, special move, and then 20% to blast attack. I have 3 Zs of this equip myself. This is a amazing equip. Next, we have the King Vegeta equip. Now, this is another one that I'm pretty sure if you missed out on it, there's not really much you can do about it. But if you do have access to it, you maybe don't have a great one and you want to farm it up a little bit, I think this is a very good choice. Blast defense, as we talked about, is the preferred defensive stat since he does get a little bit of strike cut. And then he's got crit here at 12.5, very solid. And then 13% to blast attack. It's not amazing, but it's not bad. So yeah, I think it's a very solid equip for him. Next up, we've got the Psyche Demon, and I think this guy, this equip might not be too bad. I have said this before in all the other previous ones. I don't normally go for the double offensive equips. I like to have some defense in there if I can, and I don't necessarily think it's always, a great choice to go after the stat that isn't their primary stat. Like, if you have a blast unit, I wouldn't necessarily buff their strike stuff, but there are people that are of the mindset of like let me try and evenly buff everything, and so in that regard, I do think this is a very solid equip because you are getting the pure 12% to strike attack, or 12.5 rather, if you have a green or a GT unit. So I mean, even we were talking about they have very solid green units, but really GT, that's the team we're running for the most part, and if he satisfies that condition on his own. So you have some pretty solid things there. It's got the blast defense like we talked about. That's the preferred defense. So yeah, that's that. So we've got Goodbye Everyone, and this one I think I will say tentatively, maybe wait to farm this until he drops and we kind of know if he's going to be tanky or not tanky, because you're really only getting a pretty small blast attack here. What's the real draw here is the defenses. 18% to strike defense and 15%, or another 15% to strike defense. You could get a really solid defense there of I think it's 33%. Yeah, did that math real quick. Sorry. You get 33%. If you roll strike attack in the middle, it's okay, I guess, but you're rolling a much higher strike attack than you are blast attack. So I think at the end of the day, this is one that you kind of want to roll for the defensive purposes, and it's for strike defense, which we said wasn't necessarily the better stat. So this is kind of just like one of those, like, I don't really have any other options for him. And the last equip we're going to look at is the one you can currently farm in PvP. These times were dark enough without you. I said it in my last video for the LF Super Saiyan 4. This thing is probably one of the best equipments for every single Super Saiyan 4, and will be going forward, because we know that when Gogeta comes, he will more than likely have an ult. I would be very shocked if they did his LF on a blue card. Maybe if they did the 100 times Big Bang Kamehameha on the blue card, but I don't see it. I see him getting an ult. So with that being said, you're getting special move, ult move, and health. Health really helps with the tankiness for him, and we were talking about before that we kind of want to do some special move and ultimate moves for him if we can, especially as his ult does offer 30% to faint, which, good lord, I hope they don't increase that. But yeah, that's that. Those are all the equips. There's actually a lot for this guy. I think there's a lot more than people think, but I mean, that's because of, just how many tags he has access to. He's got access to Saiyan, Vegeta, Super Saiyan 4, GT, Vegeta, Vegeta family is what I meant. But, it's just like he's got so many equips available to him. Oh, and he's a range types. It's like he's got access to some of the best equips in the game. Yeah. I think you guys should be more than set. There are plenty of options for him. You guys can farm him up all weekend, and hopefully y'all will be ready to go for Wednesday. Alrighty, hopefully this helped you all out. I will see you guys in the next one. Peace out.